Yeah, it's Zach, stepping up to the game, living life prepared, I'm not here for the fame. With a plan in my hand, gotta make it alright. Through the storms and the struggles, I'm ready to fight. Prepare for the worst while I aim for the best. Zach's unique prepping, we're reaching new heights. Living strong and ready, we're chasing the lights. With courage as armor, we'll conquer the day. Together we rise, we'll fight our own way. Stacking knowledge and skills, I'm building my base. In this world of chaos, I'm finding my space. No fear in the hustle, I'm sharpening my tools. When the world brings the waves, I'm breaking the rules. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Yeah, Zach's unique prepping, we're reaching new heights. Living strong and ready, we're chasing the lights. With courage as armor, we'll conquer the day. Together we rise, we'll find our own way. We'll find our own way. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Stacking knowledge and skills, I'm building my base. In this world of chaos, I'm finding my space. No fear in the hustle, I'm sharpening my tools. When the world brings the waves, I'm breaking the rules. Stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Never lose sight. Yeah, stand tall, keep grinding, never lose sight. Let's break every chain, with Zach in the lead. We'll never feel pain, never feel pain, never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain, never feel pain, never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. With Zach in the lead, we'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain. We'll never feel pain.
Welcome to Unique Prepping. My name is Zach, and I'm here to show you that no matter the challenges we face, like my own experience with cerebral palsy, we can all be prepared. Prepping isn't just about survival, it's about independence, confidence, and community. You see, prepping is for everyone. It's about taking control of our future, no matter our limitations. Here on Unique Prepping, I'll share tips, techniques, and strategies that anyone can use, regardless of ability. Together, we'll build a community where everyone contributes, learns, and grows stronger. So, whether you're a seasoned prepper or just getting started, join me on this journey. Let's empower ourselves and unite to create a better, more resilient future. Because in this community, everyone has a role to play. At Unique Prepping, we're all about building stronger communities and preparing for the unexpected. Now, we're taking our mission even further by partnering with Stolen Spirits, a powerful initiative focused on raising awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Together, we're blending preparedness with advocacy, shining a light on the issues that matter most. Join us as we unite for a cause, inspire change, and build a future where every voice is heard and every life is valued. Unique Prepping and Stolen Spirits, stronger together. Good evening, Unique Prepping community, and welcome to the very first installment of Unique Weather Thinking. In tonight's episode, we're tackling an important question: why should we weather prepare? Weather can be unpredictable, and when disaster strikes, it's often too late to start preparing. That's why taking steps ahead of time is crucial for safeguarding your loved ones, your home, and your community. Whether it's a severe storm, extreme heat, or icy conditions, being ready can make all the difference. Join me as we explore the importance of weather preparedness, practical tips to get started, and the mindset needed to face Mother Nature's challenges head-on. Let's build resilience together, because staying ready isn't just smart, it's essential. I'm going to divide this in 3 sections: understanding the importance of weather preparedness, the value of staying informed with Ryan Hall, y'all, and Practical steps to build weather resilience. In the description down below, I linked the videos that I'm going to play in this episode if you want to go back and watch if you need more information. Please like, subscribe, comment and share this video. This will help our community grow even more. Also, in the description, there's donation, social media and affiliate links, if you want to support this channel even more. Thank you and let's dive in. Weather can be unpredictable, and the consequences of not being prepared can be devastating. From hurricanes and tornadoes to blizzards and heat waves, extreme weather events can disrupt lives, destroy property, and even put lives at risk. The key to reducing the impact of these events is preparation. This means not only having the right supplies but also knowing how to respond when severe weather strikes. Preparing for the weather is about more than just stockpiling items, it's about being informed, proactive, and ready to act. It's essential to understand your region's specific weather risks and tailor your preparation accordingly. Building a plan, practicing it with your family, and staying informed about potential threats are the first steps toward weather resilience.
The more flat terrain. Tornadoes don't really care too much for mountainous terrain. A tornado warning for our area for this evening. So that brings to mind, we have an issue coming up for Survival Dispatch magazine for weather, severe weather to be more exact, because it is spring. You wouldn't know it sometimes. We had a frost 2 nights ago up here in the mountains, but nonetheless, it is still that time of year when disruptive weather patterns can have a great effect on the things that we do. So Voodoo and I, Voodoo's hiding behind a tree over here, we're out here today on one of our favorite trails, and we thought we would take a quick moment to go over a couple of things that we should be looking for in weather and how that might affect us if we get caught outside. So first of all, knowing what is going on with the weather before we even step onto the trail is the best thing that we can do. Let's take advantage of some of the technology that we have. Let's take advantage of the meteorology that we can get through some of our apps on our smartphone or on a computer, follow the news. And aside from that, it's always good to know on your backup plan what to look for out in the wilderness that would give clues that the weather's going bad. So there's a series of cloud formations that we can look at that will tell us what the weather's going to do from day to day. And some of those high wispy clouds on a sunny day, those are cirrus clouds. And those are indicative of weather that might come in the next day or two as the moisture starts to build up in the upper atmosphere. And then we can start looking at more cumulus clouds. Those are the big puffy cotton ball clouds. And as long as they're white and puffy and just kind of lazily drifting across the sky, we should be pretty good to go for a little while. If they start turning dark, that's a clue that maybe we should be prepared for a little bit of precipitation. And if we get into what we're looking at today is stratus clouds. That's like a blanket of clouds. It's kind of hard here in the trees to get an image of that, but it's kind of overcast. And when you get that overcast weather, it's kind of hard to tell what you're going to end up with sometimes if you're not familiar or don't have that information when you head out to the woods. So we know that right now is the calm before a storm that's coming our way. I checked the radar before we came out, and we are going to be in for probably a squall line coming in a couple hours. So this is that actual calm before the storm. So what causes the weather to change, and what can we look for? Well, some of the things that we can look for are when we get up in the morning and look for the dew point outside. The dew point is that moisture that's sitting all over everything outside, and that is a great way to collect water if you needed to. You could wrap some bandanas around your ankles and walk through the woods and wrinkle that out, and then you can get some water. That's how to use nature to your best benefit. But that dew is indicative of the water, the moisture in the atmosphere down low. It's the sky's not loaded up yet. It's not preparing to drop the rain on you. So if you come out in the morning and things are dry, that could mean that all of that dew has started the cycle where it raises up into the sky. And once it gets up into the sky and it starts to collect, form those big clouds, that's when the clouds get overloaded and that water can get all the way up until it condenses into bigger drops and it falls back down on you. So just a couple little things you can think about. You can look at the wildlife. You can see if the birds are flying low or if they're flying high. That indicates the difference between high pressure and low pressure. So you can look at the smoke coming off of a campfire. Is the smoke coming off the campfire and just lazily moving around at the campsite or right at the tree level? Or is that smoke just going straight up and undisturbed? Again, those are little clues that would say that, okay, we're having some updrafts, or we're having high pressure or low pressure. And these are things that I want you to look for and look up. I don't want to tell you everything here. I want you to do some research, learn about the clouds, learn about the feel in the air, learn and listen to the animals that are outside, see what they're doing. Are the mosquitoes out? Are they under the leaves? Are the birds or the moths and things that don't fly well? Are they out flying around? Or are they hiding up under the trees so they can't get wet? So a couple little tips on some things to look for out in the wild there. So what causes a tornado? Well, since we're looking at a possible tornado, favorable weather for this evening here in North Georgia, that's what happens is we get different air masses that kind of bang together. We get hot air, we get cold air. And as the air moves across the terrain, and a little tip is that most of the weather coming across the United States comes from the west and moves to the east. You don't see storms start in New England and work their way out to California. That's not how it works here. If you start seeing weather coming out of the east or the north in your area, that's indicative of some counter rotation, which then could really mean that you're starting to see upper air disturbances in the atmosphere. That's when you start looking at some pretty rough weather. Cold weather that comes blowing in with a furious behavior, like we had very super strong winds about 2 days ago. That meant we had a very cold front coming through and we got frost that night. So that does work. But most of the weather comes from the west, moves its way to the east across the country, or it might come up out of the south. So if it comes out of the Gulf of Mexico and starts working its way north and east, that means it's going to be very humid, it's going to be very moisture laden, and it's going to have that storm effect as it starts to gather against those colder air temperatures up north, especially this time of year. And as that air starts to move across the terrain, especially the more flat terrain, tornadoes don't really care too much for mountainous terrain. They prefer flat terrain. And a lot of people say, well, it's just a vortex. Well, it is, but a tornado started out as more like a rolling pin coming across the terrain. And that rolling pin starts doing this as it rolls across the terrain. And then that middle will start to come up and it'll do this. And that's why sometimes you'll get the twin sisters tornadoes, or you'll just get one tornado as it picks up. That's that vortex. So that's something that is hard to see. A lot of times those tornadoes are buried in storms, especially for hurricane season that's coming up. Hurricane tornadoes are a lot lighter in intensity than the typical spring tornadoes that come up through Tornado Alley. So coming up through Texas, coming right up through the Midwest, and then moving on up until they hit Appalachia, up into that area a little bit. So Oklahoma will get some of that. But if you'll notice, that's a lot of that terrain that's more flat. And that's that rolling pin air that comes across the terrain and it starts to roll up. And then to those two ends are left. And then you might get two, you might get one, you might get more tornadoes spawn out from those disturbances. So if you want some more information on severe weather and anything other in survival that we talk about here at Survival Dispatch, check out the April issue of Survival Dispatch Insider, and it will be all about severe weather. What to do at home, how to prepare your car, how to survive when you're out in the wild, what happens if you're in different types of terrain, how do you sense the weather, the clues to look for. All of that stuff is going to be in the storm.
One of the most crucial tools for weather preparedness is accurate, up-to-date information, and that's where Ryan Hall, y'all, shines. Ryan Hall is a trusted weather analyst who provides detailed, real-time updates on severe weather across the U.S. His videos are not only informative but also accessible to everyday viewers, breaking down complex weather systems in a way that's easy to understand. Watching Ryan Hall, y'all, can help you stay ahead of the storm. His forecasts often highlight areas of concern well before traditional news outlets, giving you a critical edge in preparation time. Whether it's an approaching hurricane or a fast-developing thunderstorm, Ryan offers insights on what to expect and how to prepare. He also uses social media to reach a wide audience, ensuring that more people can stay safe during severe weather events.
It's November 27th, 2024, and we've got a pre-Thanksgiving update for you on our major storm that's crossing the United States and also a big pattern shift that's going to be happening after Thanksgiving. So let's dive right into it. Here's what the radar could look like as we go into the future. Once again, talking about our cross-country storm here. This is the one that's been responsible for all the snow over here in the mountains of Utah and Colorado and all the rain back there in California. Well, now it's intensifying as it heads off to the east, and it's going to bring some more snow and some rain and maybe even some severe storms to people east of the Rockies. This is what it's going to look like tonight around 10 p.m. Moderate rain breaking out from St. Louis all the way over to Pittsburgh, up towards Detroit, down towards Cincinnati and Louisville. This is not going to be very intense precipitation. This is going to be, once again, moderate rain. But look at this. You see that little pocket of blue there in Indiana? That is snow, maybe. It's going to get cold enough for a little bit of snow to break out in Indiana and Ohio, maybe a little portion of Michigan and Illinois too, but this mainly looks like a thing that's going to be impacting Indiana and Ohio for a brief period of time tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. The majority of us will be seeing rain here, especially in Kentucky down into Tennessee. But look, on the front side up here in Pennsylvania and upstate New York, we are also starting off as snow. So this is Thanksgiving early in the morning. It's going to be snowing heavily in northern Pennsylvania up there, especially the closer you are to those lakes. It's going to be snowing very heavily at times as we get into the time of day where you would actually be driving. Maybe you're driving to grandma's house, whatever it is. It's not going to be a fun drive, especially in upstate New York. This is actually going to be some pretty intense precipitation as the storm moves through. Now, it's going to be a lot more intense in the higher elevations. This is going to be another northern Appalachian storm system as far as snow totals go. But even in the valleys, there's going to be a couple of troublesome spots, especially in Pennsylvania and New York.
Who's coming in the driveway?
Backside snow is continuing back here from Columbus up to Cleveland. And then you can see the tail end of the storm is all rain from eastern Kentucky, western West Virginia, back into middle Tennessee and into the deep south. And this is where we actually think we could see some stronger storms, especially tonight into the day tomorrow. Notice how that convection is not really lighting up, but it's certainly discrete here as we go into the day on Thursday, which means that any sort of little cell that pops up along this line, along this cold front, is going to have the very small chance of producing an isolated tornado. So there is a marginal risk of severe weather, which we will talk more about right here in a second. The I-95 corridor is going to be all rain for this. It's going to be a rainy Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. It's going to be a rainy Thanksgiving for everybody from Baltimore all the way up to New York City. The Concord, New Hampshire area is going to be the place where if you're north of that area, maybe you're going to see snow. But if you're south of Concord, if you're around Philadelphia or anywhere near the coast, this is going to be all rain for you. Heavy rain at times, especially in Boston around 1 p.m. on Thanksgiving. And as you can see, the heavy snow is going to move up into New Hampshire and Maine. And once again, it's going to be heavy at times in the evening on Thanksgiving in Maine, potentially dropping 4 to 8 inches of snow by the time it's all said and done. And I want you to notice something here. First of all, we're going to have another chance of severe storms late in the day on Thanksgiving down here in the Carolinas back into Georgia. But also the lake enhanced snow or the lake effect snow machines are going to be turned on here, and they are not going to go off anytime soon. Now, this is the beginning of what will become a major lake effect event here, I think, as we go through the next 7 to 10 days, more than likely. But before we go any deeper into the snow talk, I do want to mention the severe weather a little bit more here from the Storm Prediction Center's outlook. And also, I want to mention today's very awesome sponsor. Delete Me, your personal data is yours again. Did you know that there are companies out there called data brokers that are all started using the broker websites? What monitors show prepared was to get or the link. So clear, guys, if you need for 7th, 2024, we've got a marginal risk of severe weather from Birmingham, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, back towards Jackson, Mississippi, and another little pocket down here near Tallahassee, Florida. This is mainly driven by a very marginal wind and tornado threat. But once again, we do have that 2% probability of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in the green zones here. I don't think it looks very likely, but it is something that's on the table, so make sure you are weather aware. Storms have a little bit of a better chance of being more widespread on Thanksgiving. From about Lake Charles, Louisiana, all the way up to Norfolk, Virginia, we're going to have a pretty good chance of seeing at least a gusty shower, and especially late in the day over here in the Carolinas and eastern portions of Georgia on Thanksgiving, I think we've got a decent chance of seeing maybe an isolated tornado or two, a little bit better than today. But once again, Storm Prediction Center is only highlighting a 2% probability here, so be weather aware, but do not worry too much about it and enjoy your Thanksgiving, okay? Now, of course, this doesn't look like it's going to be something that's needing a live stream, but the 24/7 live stream is going to be on over there on the Ryan Hall Y'all Extra channel. If you haven't checked this out yet, I would certainly recommend it. This is on 24/7, and if there was a tornado warning right now, the moment it happened, it would zoom us into that, and it would tell us all about it. If you've already checked this out, I would also recommend
Once you have the right information, the next step is to translate it into action. Building weather resilience starts with creating an emergency kit tailored to your family's needs. This includes items like water, non-perishable food, flashlights, batteries, and a first aid kit. Don't forget to include weather-specific items such as a NOAA weather radio, warm clothing, or extra cooling packs, depending on your area's climate risks. Equally important is having a clear, practiced plan. Know evacuation routes, identify safe spots in your home, and make sure every family member understands their role during an emergency. Communication is also key. Ensure you have a way to stay connected even if the power goes out. The goal is to minimize stress and maximize safety when faced with severe weather.
Flooding and heat waves in sort of degrees and intensity we've never seen before. So we need to understand where these events are happening in relationship to people and critical infrastructure, drink clean water drinking sources, electricity, and that kind of thing.
The most important element of disaster response after these extreme events is really human life. And certainly power, water, transportation are all critical pieces of that.
There are many different aspects of extreme events. To understand extreme events generation and down to the impacts of extreme events, it requires very integrated modeling approaches.
Well, we focus on extreme events that are varied, from hurricanes, which have a favorable timeline. You know when they're developing, you kind of understand when they're going to hit and where. There's some changes there, but to earthquakes, you know what damage has been done in earthquakes. Those are not predictable in the same way. Most recently, I'm focused on wildfire, which is also a little bit of a challenge in terms of there's somewhere in between hurricanes and earthquakes, right? You have an idea where wildfires might be most likely, but where they're going to start and how big they're going to be is relatively unpredictable.
Extreme events in the context of climate science and hydrological science, they are rare events. and deviates from the typical or average condition, we kind of experience. For instance, like, major flooding caused by heavy rainfall, or like prolonged droughts, leading to water scarcity. So those kind of, very extreme conditions which creates impacts to a lot of things, for instance, humans, communities, infrastructure, and economics.
The process of data collection, data curation, and data assessment, that is a very large portion of the work itself.
When we're looking at, for instance, wildfire, you can look at an image from space and see where it is. Matter of fact, you can see smoke quite easily in the visible bands. Some of the bands actually see through the smoke, and some of the sensors that we use can see through clouds. And so it's easy to kind of picture it as a picture from space, but there's more to it on the physics side. We understand those physics also as geospatial analysts. We understand other information. Where are the roads? Where are the rivers? Where are the other things going on? And we have models, or basically algorithmic approaches, that say, when we have data from this sensor, this is the algorithm we run it through.
PNNL, of course, works on many different fronts. We bring in experts from many different domains. So we're bringing together experts in machine learning and AI. We're bringing together experts in climatology. We're bringing together experts in electrical grid. And then what I do is the geospatial side.
We have to work with a diverse range of experts in the field. We work with climate scientists for understanding how those extreme events were formed, through those, climate dynamics. And then, I'm a hydrologist, so I'm taking the climate information to generate those responses, from the land and river systems. And for understanding impacts, we work with social scientists, data scientists, and also economists, to understand how those extreme hydrological events will be creating impacts for different, sectors, for different, kind of communities. So it's a complex story.
I think the most exciting part of this is that we are applying our science, bringing our science to a problem that has national significance. And also, we are providing information that can have a big difference on the ground during and after.
We have the technology, we have the creativity, we have the compassion, and we have the people to do the kind of work that's going to be required of us.
Thank you so much for joining me for the first part of Unique Weather Thinking. I hope this episode inspired you to take weather preparedness seriously and gave you some tools to get started. Remember, being prepared isn't just about survival, it's about protecting the people you love and being ready for whatever challenges life may bring. Stay tuned for the next part of this series as we dive deeper into the steps you can take to stay ahead of the storm. Until then, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a verse to reflect on. The prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished. Proverbs 22 verse 3, KJV, I love you all. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share to help spread the message of preparedness and community. Take care, and God bless.
Nutrient survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient Survival. Feed your freedom.
Hey community, Unique Prepping has partnered up with Hunter Brothers Coffee. It's a veteran-owned coffee company out of Pennsylvania. They sell across the world, and have light, medium, dark roasts, ground or whole beans, and even flavored coffee. If you like to order coffee, use my link in the description of this video or go to my LinkTree. At checkout you'll get a 9% discount. Order you some coffee and help support veterans in need and help get service dogs as well. Thank you, and let's help our veterans since they helped keep our country safe.
Making moves on your chess piece, always on the grind. In this game called life, gotta sharpen up the mind. Unique prepping, got the vision locked and loaded. Every challenge that arises, I'm determined, I'm devoted. Stay ready for the call and to life's demands, and we'll rise together, we'll take our stance. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Every view, every like, your support is the fire that keeps me hyped. Comment depth and insight, share the vision wide. This community's growing and we'll ride this tide. So go ahead and subscribe, don't miss a beat. Tune in next time, let's make this complete. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright. Like, share, comment. It's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. You pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's make this complete. Unique prepping, it's more than a show. We're building foundations, we're ready to grow. Like, share, comment, let your voice be known. Together we can thrive, we're never alone. Never alone. Never alone. Keep pushing forward, let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright. Yeah. Let that fire ignite. See you next time, let's keep it bright.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5 verse 9 KJV.